Hi everyone, welcome to today, and welcome to this video. This is a journey because we have been going on a journey with our hair. This is what happens when you decide you want a new color and things go awry. So, come along and find out what happens and enjoy yourselves. And here we go. So this is that fatal moment when you decide on a whim that you are done with the hair color that you have and you need to change it. So that's what we did. Can't go back now. It's done. There's bleach in our hair. Our brown, carefully made into healthy hair. That's the end. The end of it all. So what prompted this change, you may ask? Well, there's been a lot of change going on in our life, and when there's a lot of change going on in an individual's life, sometimes they feel the need to take control however they can. So we took control by messing up our hair. Okay, we're really down on ourselves about our hair, but it's fine, okay? The process you go through with your hair is the process you go through, and if you mess it up, you can always shave your head and start from the beginning. We've done this before, not actually because we messed up our hair, but because we needed to deal with our life. Start over our life, I don't know. So anyways, at this moment in our life, what's going on is that we, excuse me, we had to say goodbye to our caregiver, who's been with us for over a year, and that is really, really hard to handle, honestly, because we depend on them and see them every week, like almost every day of the week for over a year. And so to go from like having them around to not having them around is a really big change, and it makes us really scared. We also weren't able to really prepare as much as we wanted to for the change of them going, and so we don't really have a safety net of like, here's who's going to take care of us now. We're working on it, but it's right now it's really hard to find caregivers, and I'm not sure why. It seems to be a common thing though. So another change in our life is that our therapist's office closed, or is closing at the end of this month. And so our therapy team is changing, and the places we do therapy is changing. And for right now, our main therapists, we don't get to see them for like a month. So that freaks us out a lot. Not doing so well with that. We're trying to do well, and I think we're pretending we're doing well on the surface, but then underneath it all, we are freaking out so much that we are dyeing our hair late at night and not really. It's like we're dyeing our hair because the nights are hard and we needed to do something to take control, as we said, because everything is changing, it feels like. So that's what we did. Yeah, I guess we had to mix up more bleach halfway through because we ran out of bleach. Wow. Just comb that through and just kill those strands of hair. It's gonna be great. I've got like 2 or 3 minutes left of my hair. Just checking in because my head is so hot. It's like on fire hot, especially in the back, where most of my hair is concentrated right now because it's in a bun. Bleached fire bun. Time to wash it out, hoping for the best. There's definitely some spots that are darker than other spots, but because the overall color... Do you like this bathroom fan, by the way? Oh my god. because the overall color is going to be what it is, I think it'll be fine. So let's see what happens. Look at that gorgeous mound of color in two beautiful different bowls. When we do our hair, we try to mix several different colors together. And recently we've been also mixing conditioner in to stretch the color further because money. So we used a lot of different colors that we just showed you on the screen, but I don't remember them all suddenly. That iris green was actually a mix of a whole bunch of different greens from a lot of different hair color experiments. It looks like we used some midnight blue, some swamp green, and some neon moon, and some conditioner in that one. It's a beautiful swirl, isn't it? So pretty. So not so pretty now. It's kind of getting a little swampy. Swamp, 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 swamp. That's enough swamp now. It's turning a little more blue than we wanted it to turn. This is when you get concerned. This is when you wonder if you made, oops, don't let the bowl fall off, if you made the right decision. So, change. Also, look at that greatly uneven bleach job for a minute and appreciate what is possibly going to take place in the future when you dye your hair with an uneven bleach job. Just get ready, because I know we didn't want to wait the night to do another bleach. We just wanted to forge ahead because that's what we do. So when change happens to us, big changes, and we feel really unsettled inside, the first thing we want to reach for, this is hard to talk about, but the first thing we want to reach for is substances. We are addicts. We have issues with alcohol and other substances. And so, when we're in a good groove in life, we can keep going without feeling those cravings and desires as strongly. But when things become really unsettled in life, then we become really unsettled, and in an effort to settle ourselves, we crave outside substances to kind of we require outside substances to calm us. We don't require them, we desire them. And in some cases we do require them, such as all the psychiatric medications we're on. But when we can't calm ourselves, and when we want to be able to dissociate easier, or when we want to be able to just not feel, I guess that's the same as dissociate, it becomes a lot easier to gravitate towards anything that will more easily get us away from that upset and those internal feelings that we can't do much about. It's like change happens. We're humans. Change is going to happen a lot in our life. And for us, when it happens, it's just this like total mind fuck. It's probably not helped because we're autistic and change is really disruptive to all of our internal systems. But it's definitely not helped because we just need more stability in life. I mean, everybody needs stability in life, but when we don't have that stability in one form or another, we look for any way to cope with that loss of stability. So, the fact that we are choosing to stay up late and dye our hair, like it's almost 9 o'clock in this video, I'm pretty sure. But the fact that we're choosing to stay up late and dye our hair, even though it is, I don't know, even though Whatever, no judgments. It's a good decision we made, no matter what the outcome is. It was better to stay up late and dye our hair. Hey, so it's been a couple of days since I did something about my hair, and that's because mistakes were made. That's all I can say. I can say a lot more, honestly, but that's how I could sum it up the best. Mistakes were made. So it's not the color I wanted whatsoever, but it doesn't look bad if you just look at, the roots that are showing right now, because I have it in 2 French braids. But yeah, if we take it out of the French braids, excuse me, oops, let's see what happens. I'll show you. Let's see if it'll show up on camera for you. So, the problem is there's so much, there's so much brown still in it. And the color is very uneven, and it like took more at the roots and at the tips, and then in the middle, it didn't take as well. So, and I wanted it to be a much darker shade of green. I was going for a dark green. So, we're gonna do it again. We're gonna bleach it out to try and get the rest of the brown out. The problem, I think, is because my hair was dyed with a box dye, 2 box dyes, one brown, one red. And it was kind of like a burgundy color. And not quite burgundy, auburn. It was a color, it was pretty. And my roots had grown out. So then that's why everything was a different color. And that's why it didn't bleach the way I expected. Because normally my hair just bleaches really easily. But not with this stuff, not with whatever I'd put in it before. So hopefully I don't kill my hair. Hopefully I am able to make it look the way I want it to look. Oh, I got the hair dye I've been waiting for it to arrive. That's why I had to wait a couple days. It's called Juniper Green. It makes me very excited. And then it's by Lunar Tides, which I just learned is based out of Seattle. Naturally not sponsored because not sponsored. But we'll see how it works out, and then you can see if you like it too. Yeah. So I think I'm gonna bleach my hair out tonight and then let it rest overnight and then dye it greened in the morning. So here we go. Look at that beautifully uneven color. It is the best. I don't mind uneven color sometimes, but this did not work. What? So slather that bleach on there and get ready for some regrets. So something else that has happened for us recently is we've been noticing a lot more about how our impulsivity affects us and our life. Hi, Tundra. That's our cat. We have been noticing a lot more about how hard it is to control our impulsivity, and that it just takes us. It's like, sometimes we feel manic. I don't know if we really are like true manic or just hypomanic or just feel very activated. And it's very hard to like put rational thought into what we're doing. We just like do. We like pot plants and try and clean but make bigger messes and try and buy stuff but spend more money than we mean to. And so it just becomes this like whole thing that is really frustrating to work with. So our impulsivity, it has a big part to play in how we are managing change and managing life, because it just like, we won't mean to like get 10 things. We will mean to get one thing. Like, we meant to just dye our hair, and it was only going to take buying another color or two. And now it's turned into this whole thing where we had to keep getting stuff and getting stuff because we were so, couldn't like sit still about our hair, couldn't sit still about anything. And so we just needed to do something, like, and this was the thing we chose to do. This is where we put that impulsive, manic energy in. And so it's like, on the one hand, it's fine. It's not that big a deal to just need to change your hair up. But on the other hand, the like deeper thing that's going on is that that was a cute look. We can't sit still with all the change. We need to be doing. We need to be acquiring. We need to be finding substances. We need to be trying to find control in some way. And it doesn't help very much. Like, it would be better if we could like sit still about it. It would be better if we could allow ourselves to feel. It would be better if we could probably talk about it with more people, but we don't talk about it a lot with very many people because it's hard to talk about things like this. It's hard to be honest, and it's hard to be open and vulnerable. It gets harder and harder as we get older. We're not even that old, we're just 33, but like, the things that we feel we can talk about are so limited compared to what we probably are able to talk about. And so it's this like dance of like, what can we talk about? What can we not talk about? How do we manage our life when we don't even know who and what to talk about with things? So yeah, with the change and the impulsivity and the mania, I think I wish we could just be a little kinder to ourselves about it. Good morning. It's, morning, like 10:30, whatever. It's a new day. We bleached out our hair last night. It is quite upset with us now. Our roots are so sad. Not our roots. These are our ends. Our roots are fine. They're happy. It's the rest of it that is going to now take some repairing. We do this, we just get eager with the bleaching and want it to be thorough. But in the thoroughness, we kill our hair a little bit, or a lot bit. So hopefully we can make it recover. Otherwise, we'll have to do some trimming. Yeah. So we are gonna go put in our hair color now, the new one, the juniper green hair color, and hope that works out. Normally when we make hair color, we mix several different colors together because it makes usually a richer color. But this time I'm too scared to. Not really scared to, but no, I'm not scared to. I have a feeling that if we were to try to mix this color with other colors, it would fuck up the color. And we really like the potential it has already. Excuse them. We really like the potential this color has already, and we don't want to do anything to fuck that up. So we're going with our gut that says, don't mix the colors this time. Just put the color in your hair and be happy about it. And then put a hair mask on your hair because it's so sad. Hey, Tundra. So that's what we're going to go do now. Pike, stop licking your paws. Thank you. Good job. Well, all the animals. There's Pike. Okay. So here we go. Bye. So, not like change is hard. Yes, we've established that. But there are ways that we have been dealing with it and learning to deal with it in our life that that work way better for us. So anything we can do creative is what helps the most. If we can play guitar or color or write or paint or collage or garden, these things are all very essential. They're very, very essential in the dealing of change or any tough emotions. So we have been doing some of those things. I think coloring your hair, this beautiful color, is also a way to be creative in the face of change. Pike, why do you have to itch yourself right now? That's what she does. So anyways, something our art therapist has been teaching us. We've been in art therapy for several months. Excuse me. Our art therapist has been teaching us that it's important to get your processing out of your intellect, like out of your quote unquote head, and use other modalities you have to get the feelings out. Because your feelings don't really exist in your intellect and your critical thinking and your higher level thinking. Your feelings exist at your like lower level thinking, at your whatever it's called. I don't have the science language right now. But your feelings exist in places that are harder to articulate and harder to reach. So if you have a hard time accessing your feelings, you might be, like us, stuck in your head a lot of the time and more analytical than you need to be. So it's been really good to work with someone who is encouraging us with creativity to find new ways to express the feelings that we have and to understand the feelings that we have without needing our intellect to understand them. I find that it's a lot more helpful because it's like in so much trauma processing, it exists in our head that we've had therapists try to do for us, but our trauma doesn't live in that higher level thinking. Trauma lives in your survival self. Trauma lives in like the deepest, darkest core of your little damaged heart. So it's not going to be possible to get at the healing of trauma or to understand what to do about when you feel those like traumatic things activated. It's not going to be possible to get there with thinking. You're going to have to get there through other journeys. And we even learned too that like when you're doing this kind of artwork for getting through these rough times or of change or dealing with trauma, nothing about it should not be about the product. You're not aiming to make something particular to show off to your friends. You can literally make it and throw it in the garbage. Nobody cares. The point is the process of putting these marks or these brush strokes down on paper or to form this clay into this figure, just so that your feeling self has a chance to move, has a chance to be expressed without using the words that we are kind of limited by. Like language, it does a lot for us, but it also super limits us. And so it's really important to find ways to get through these times without the use of language and with the use of creativity. The bathroom fan in here is horrendous, so I'm gonna play you some nice music instead. All right, so we decimated our hair, completely decimated it. But we found this product called Trauma Treatment by Healing Color Care or Lonza or something like that. And it is amazing. The first time we used it, we couldn't run our fingers through our hair in the beginning. And then we used it and our hair suddenly felt so smooth and so silky and like hair, and we could run our hands through it. And so every time we've used it, our hair has gotten a little bit healthier, a little bit more sturdy again. So I highly recommend it if you have been traumatized by your own hair care issues, like you bleached the hell out of your hair like we did. But hopefully you just don't do that to your hair. Maybe just be nicer to your hair. And yeah, that's all I can say. So we're really curious about how other people handle change, especially other neurodivergent people who have autism or ADHD. Like, does your impulsivity get kicked up, and does your mania get more impacted, or are you just not able to manage yourself as well? These are things we wonder, because everybody in life goes through change, and that's like the only constant thing we can depend on is change. So it's as hard as it is to deal with change and as much disruption as it causes, I wonder if the disruption is perhaps necessary, because humans and other animals, like we would stay in our routines forever if something didn't disrupt them. And I wonder how much we benefit from the changing of routines, and how, like, the doing of new things, or the experience of new people in our life, or the loss of people in our life, like all of these things, they are life. And so if we were to try to go without change and to try to manage that to such a degree that we didn't experience change, what would we be missing out on? Like, what experiences and what people and what emotions would we be missing out on? Whoops. Had to readjust that towel there. So are these things you think about? Have you ever wondered like what life would be like without change? Hello. This is where we're at now in life. So our hair turned this color, which is fantastic. That's what we wanted. It's very close, at least. I think we would have gone a little darker, but we've also washed it a couple times since we dyed it initially, so it's the color it is. And that's just, hair dye fades. That's what it does. Things we could have done differently. I guess that's not that important. We just wish that we had not damaged our hair so much in the process. It's really helping to use that trauma treatment stuff, and we put argan oil in our hair, so much argan oil, because our hair just like sucks it up. So we will continue to do so until our hair says that's enough oil. We probably will have to continue using some extra products in our hair for a little while to help it recover, but it's not doing so bad after just for everything we did to it. Our poor hair. But you know, we can like run our fingers through it. It behaves like hair again. There was a time when we first got done making it into this color, we could not run our fingers through our hair. It was so damaged, and we were like, oh no, oh no, we killed it. So we did like an emergency trim in the bathroom to try and help it a little bit, which does help a little bit, but it did not take care of it all. So then we tried like some hair masks, homemade ones, and those actually seem to make it worse. So then then that's when we went to find something a little less natural, because the process we did was not natural. So I guess the healing that it needs is different than natural products could suffice. So yeah, it'll get back to its normal place, I guess. I miss when our hair before we did this process was more wavy and the ends would curl, and now it's just too dead, and so it just is very straight again, which is fine. Hair can be however it needs to be. But we really liked the curl and the wave, and so that's sad to be without. Maybe it will come back though after some time of healing. Yeah. I wish we could get that trauma treatment stuff for like our whole life. That would be helpful. Just put that everywhere. Jeez. So thanks for coming on the journey with us. Hope you had fun. Here we are now, and here we will continue to go forward from. If you are on your own journey with your hair, I recommend being careful with the bleach. And if you have gone overboard with the bleach, try out trauma treatment. It worked for us. Yeah, hope you have a good rest of your day. Believe yourselves, believe in yourselves, keep living, and we're going to see you soon.